everybody, my name is Bao, and today I'm going to tell you about how much is a trillion. How much is a trillion? Really big numbers. What's the biggest number you can think of? 100,000? 10,000? We use special words such as million, billion, trillion to talk about really big numbers. But what do these words mean? And what do a million, a billion, and a trillion look like? Hide and seek. Have you ever played a game of hide and seek? In hide and seek, one person counts up to a number while everyone else hides. But some numbers are so big that you couldn't count up to them in your whole lifetime. They say, how much is a million? We write 1 million as 1 followed by 6 zeros, like this. Here, 1, 1, like there are 7 numbers. Do you know how much a million is? Some of the world's largest cities have millions of people living in them. If you're lucky, you might win $1 million in a lottery. I told you 1,000,000 times. Maybe you think your parents have told you to clean your room 1,000,000 times, but have they really? Let's say that every day your parent tells you 10 times to clean your room. You'll be over 273 years old before they told you for the 1,000,000th time. 1,000,000 pennies. Imagine a jar with 1,000 pennies in it. Now imagine 1,000 jars, which with 1,000 pennies inside. That's 1,000,000 pennies. Well, 1,000 pennies, you know, 1,000 pennies is equal to $10 because $1 costs 100 pennies. $10, 1,000, right? So 1,000,000, 1,000. Well, this is a bit hard. Half is yeah. Math isn't the best thing. So even if 1,000,000 pennies it equals to maybe $1,000. Maybe that. Okay, so this makes sense. Okay, maybe 100,000 or just $1,000. That makes sense. Ready or not? Here I come. Remember our earlier game of hide and seek? Let's say you count from 1 million while your friends run time. You will count over 3 weeks without stopping before you reach 1 million. Your friends will probably be very well hit by then. Wow, nearly a year. How much is a billion? We write 1 billion as a 1 followed by 9 zeros, like this. Whoa. There are more than 7 billion people alive on Earth right now. More than 1 billion of them are under the age of 10 years old. That's a lot of kids. Well, China has the most population, about 1.4 billion. So that makes sense. Maybe if you count from 1 to 1 billion, it would cost you 2 months or maybe 1.5 months or maybe. Who knows, I need to spend around 3 weeks just to count from 1 small number to the whole world population. $1 million every day. At that rate, it will almost take 2 years and 9 months before you have $1 billion. Wow. Even the richest person like Joe Bendos or maybe someone, then he would make a bundle. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm back. How long do you think it would take to count to 1 billion during game hunt seek? If you counted that high, your game would last about 100 years. Really? So this may be the world record, the longest hide and seek ever. And at that time, most people are ill or dead. A billion pennies. Remember the jar of 1,000 pennies? Imagine stacking 1 billion pennies into the shape of a block. The block will be about the size of 5 school buses. Wow. That's a Georgia block. How much is a trillion? A trillion is a billion is a big number, but a trillion is a head larger. 1,000 times larger to be exact. We write 1 trillion as a 1 followed by 12 zeros. Wait, this surely it's a big number. But what does a trillion look like? Imagine that you stack up 1 trillion pennies into the shape of a cube. Each side of the cube will be as long as 1 football field. Well, that makes sense. So if you stack up like this, it will take you forever to finish the job. And surely you need a lot of labor. Big numbers are useful. People who work in science, business, and government often use big numbers in their work. A scientist might use big numbers to measure the distance from Earth to the Sun. A business person might use them to count how many products a company has sold. A city planner might use them to decide how many schools with 1 million people in need. Conclusion. Knowing about millions, billions, and trillions can help us understand our world and the universe. And the words we use for them, big numbers, have a million uses. Wow.